Hi, it's Andy Howells from Entertainment South Wales. I'm here today for the Panto press launch day at Cardiff New Theatre for this year's Panto Cinderella. Let's go in and meet the cast.
Hello, I'm Owain Wyn Evans. I'm a broadcaster and a drummer, and I will be playing Dandini in Cinderella this year at the New Theatre.
Now, is this your first Panto, Owain, or have you done any before?
This is my first Panto, so very much looking forward to it. I think for me, Panto is it just encapsulates all of the joy of theatre. And as somebody who grew up in Ammanford, which is about 50 miles away from Cardiff, you know, it was an area where we'd have school pantomimes, like everywhere really. But when you would think about the big panto, you know, like the big panto really, you'd think about Cardiff and you'd think about the gorgeous New Theatre. So for me now to be here in the New Theatre, starring in Cinderella this Christmas, is just incredible. Because it would have been a thing years ago that I would have really kind of looked up to and still do. And it's a real source of enjoyment for all ages.
You have had a very interesting path all the way up to Panto, haven't you? I mean, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but I mean, I first remember seeing you doing the weather on local news and stuff here in Wales. Was that your first time in front of a camera?
Well, I grew up in Ammanford, and you know, I always felt kind of that I had social anxiety when I was younger. Still do to a certain degree. It sort of still creeps up in certain elements, and anxieties I think you never really shake off. And I felt there was something about drumming that helped me. You know, it was a heat deflector when I was being bullied. It was almost like a physical barrier as well. You know, when you're behind a drum kit, it kind of envelops you, it wraps around you. And I loved that about it. So actually, when I was growing up, the two things I wanted to be was either a drummer or I was interested in stage lighting, in robotic stage lighting, moving lights. None of those things happened. When I was 18, 19, I was sort of moving towards becoming a semi-professional drummer. But then a friend of mine, her mother, saw a job in the newspaper advertised for a presenter of a new kids programme. And I just turned 18. I'd no TV experience, you know, come from a very working class background. We don't have any kind of TV connections or showbiz connections in our family, so I was the first person to join that sphere. And it was just amazing. And then I presented that show then for 10 years, live TV every day. And then I love the environment and love weather, so I then became a weather forecaster. And it's so interesting, I've just heard Mike here talk about this. Years ago, a couple of years ago, I was playing the drums for Bonnie Tyler in the Silver Jubilee concert in Cardiff Castle, in the Jubilee concert. And Mike was there as well. Mike said to me, he said, we're going to do Panto. And, you know, I only see Mike when he's in Panto. But here it is. And the first thing he said to me today was, here we are, moment realised. Incredible, eh?
I mean, and you know, you've gone on and you've done other things as well. I mean, it's interesting you mentioned the social anxiety, but you probably brought a lot of strength to people during lockdown. I remember working in a warehouse during lockdown, and in the early mornings, and you were covering the early morning show on Radio 2. And I remember hearing your bright, cheerful voice and just spurring me on at that point of the day. And I'm sure you did that for so many other people at the time. So thank you so much for that, because I mean, it's little things like that make such a difference to other people's lives as well. You know, I mean, do you actually find that sort of, you know, you've managed to bring a lot of joy and inspiration to people? I mean, I know your drumming certainly did with the Children in Need thing, didn't it?
Oh, well, thank you for your kind words. Yeah, the drumming thing with the Children in Need and the lockdown was just, you know, it was... So the sort of condensed story is, I was working from home, living up in Leeds. I had a drum kit in the house, and I remember thinking, there's something. I was seeing loads of people doing viral videos to the BBC News theme. They were like dancing and singing, and somebody at work said, you know, oh, that's a great thing, you know. Look at all these videos. And I remember being at home one day working, and Aaron, my husband, saying, you should do something with the drums, the BBC News theme. So we thought about it, and then literally one lunchtime, I just sat down during my lunch break, played the BBC News theme on the drums, tweeted it, that was that. Did it in like 2 takes. And then it just went completely viral. And then off the back of that, Aaron again and I thought there must be a way that we can raise money, you know, a charity thing with these drums. Because there were people all over the world saying that that moment brought joy. And I couldn't put my finger on how. It was just me playing the drums. So the Children in Need drumathon came then, and wow, I was just not expecting it to raise the amount of money that it did. And you know, it broke records. It's at 3.8 million now, just the drumathon. And I can't get my head around it.
Yeah.
And when I watch it back now, I still cry.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, and obviously we know you for other wonderful shows. Sorry, you need to remind me of the programme you do again.
Wales Home of the Year.
Wales Home of the Year. Now, obviously this year, I mean, you're in Pantomime here in Cardiff. You're going to see probably some interesting homes on the set, aren't you? You know.
Yes. Very good point. I've not thought about the homes that I might be judging during Cinderella. I mean, there's a castle, you know, there are all sorts of buildings, there's a ballroom. Are they going to get 10s off me is the question.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what is getting a 10, the New Theatre.
Yeah.
This is an amazing building, and the deep history of Panto here is incredible. So, if this was on Wales Home of the Year, 10s across the board, darlings.
Looking at your own experiences of Panto, what was your first experience of Panto? I mean, can you remember the first time you went to a pantomime?
Yeah, I remember the first time I went to pantomime. There were travelling panto shows, which would go all around Wales, and they were Welsh language. And I remember seeing one, and it was the story of King Arthur. And it was kind of, as Panto often is, you know, you get the kind of, the main thread of the story, but then you get a lot of fun injected into it and music. And I remember sitting in the audience of a small theatre in like Llandilo or Llandybia or somewhere, and watching this thing on, you know, on stage, like, wow. Because Panto is escapism, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and as a little child, for a lot of kids, that's their first introduction to theatre and performing.
Yeah.
So that was my first experience of Panto. I've seen pantomimes here at the New Theatre as well, and being a part of that now, and that thing coming full circle is just incredible.
Yeah.
Because there's something interesting to be said as well about how, as a young gay man, you know, as a young gay boy, seeing characters in Panto who are like unapologetic and are very much themselves and are, you know, over the top and camp, and I don't want to generalise here at all, but there is a sense of escapism in Panto, which is a big part of a lot of the lives of queer people. So to be in Panto now for me, wow,
Yeah.
it's just lush.
What are you hoping to bring to your role then this year?
Well, I hope to bring a lot of fun to Dandini. Dandini's character is, you know, a big part of the Cinderella story when he exists in it, in the same way as Buttons is. Because Dandini has like a role reversal with Prince Charming. So Geth and I will sort of swap roles in the kind of ballroom scene, and as a sort of a heat deflector really for Prince Charming. So I will definitely bring fun, energy, and I'm just going to enjoy it. And this cast is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, you've got so many great people on this show, and I just can't wait to be on the stage with them.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think we're all going to look forward to seeing you on the stage, and I hope you do manage to give a few marks out of 10 on the castle when you're going round.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
I think we need that.
Absolutely. First thing I'll do is walk around the castle, judge every room, see what it gets.
Yeah, wonderful. Can I wish you all the very best in your Panto debut later on this year, then, Owain?
Thank you so much. Lovely to meet you.
Take care now.